been a while since I've actually used this, so it's going to take me a little time to get used to the steering again. A nice ambling along quite nicely here. It won't take me long to get used to the steering. And there's the bridge over Tunbridge High Street, so we'll be going through the right-hand arch. Still quite a bit of debris in the water. We'll say still. There's been an awful lot of rainfall lately, and a lady said as she was getting out in her kayak that there was 2 trees down last week, and now there's a 3rd one down. So there's been a lot of flooding in the area, a lot of flood warnings by the Environment Agency. As you can no doubt hear, from time to time I'm steering with my paddle, using my paddle as a rudder. You hear the whoosh of the water. No wind today, absolutely still. So I did take a reading, but there was really no point. There is no wind. I don't know if you can make it out in the distance ahead. You can see the orange buoys. And that is the where the weir is, and Town Lock. Well, there we go. You've got the canoe pass to the left there, the buoys, and to the right is the actual lock itself. There is a canoe platform here, so what I'll do, I'll be stopping here and turning round. So that is half a mile completed. Yes, a lot of leaves, a lot of rubbish in the water. I've got to be careful that the fin doesn't pick it up. Right, now aim from the platform. I'm going to turn off the fin. Just coast in. Tin cans, there's all sorts, but I suppose that's all been blown in here. And that's it. Well, the sun's slowly going in behind a cloud now, which will actually do me a favour for filming, although it's absolutely beautiful when you're out on the paddle not filming. But I could hardly see a thing coming down here. As I said earlier, that's the first half a mile done. You can probably even hear the weir in the background. The level of this water is very high, and the canoe platforms are absolutely sodden with mud. So, you know, I was thinking about coming out a few days ago, and I'm glad I didn't, because these canoe platforms are fixed, and they would have been underwater and just covered in mud. It was a little bit difficult for me actually getting into the water or into the kayak, because the levels are so high, what with my bad knees. But yeah, I got there. Well, that's it. I've turned round now, so we're going back into drive. Here we go. Take a moment. I'll give it a couple of strokes to help it along. That'll do. As you can probably see to the right, there's some young swans. I think it's 4 or 5 of them. They came up to the canoe platform earlier when I was putting in and literally sort of put their beaks against me. But they weren't being aggressive and I wasn't showing any fear, so no problems. Just steering to the right a little bit. Beautiful creatures. There's definitely an undercurrent here. I can feel the force against it, and it's trying to push me to my left hand side. And once we get underneath the Tunbridge Town Bridge and just a little bit further up past the castle, we'll be swinging left to join the Tunbridge circuit. I'm not sure how far around that tree's down, but it's no worries. I'll just work it out. We're now approaching the bridge over the High Street. Been a couple of people out this morning. There was a lady in a canoe and another lady in a paddleboard, which had a pleasant chat. Struggling to control it at the moment, so I'm going to give it a bit of welly with a paddle. That's it. Tunbridge Castle to our right. Now the wind's picking up quite a bit. Quite chill in the air now. I actually stripped off a layer when I was setting up. So I've got a fleece and my buoyancy aid on, but it should be enough. Once I get on the circuit, it's not so exposed. Now this is where we'll be forking left. Oh, let's move out. Starting on the Tunbridge circular route, and then we'll fork off to the left and take the straight run up to Lye flood barrier. I needed that straight run down there just to try and get used to steering again, because it's been about 3 or 4 months. There's been far too much weed out on the rivers and canals. Plus I actually wanted to go out on the paddle, get some exercise. Loads of debris in the water ahead. I may have to switch off for a moment so I don't suck anything in and paddle round that. That's it, I've switched off. Go back to the proper way. That's probably where one of the trees was down. Yeah, there's loads of branches in the water. They've hacked through it, but I can see them under the water. Right, start up again. You can probably hear the noise of the little weir behind me. I'm just now turning to the right. As you can see, the river is driving me to the left. And obviously when I'm using the paddle as a rudder, I'm slowing down the motor considerably. Come on, ducks, get out of the way. They're little buggers, look at them. They're wondering whether I've got food or not. I don't know if it's coming out on the footage, but you can literally see the river flow, all the leaves coming down towards me. One of the biggest problems at the moment is all this debris, all these leaves and that. I'm actually picking them up in the propeller and having to stop, put it into reverse to try and clear it. So this isn't ideal really, but let's just pick something up there. It was just a slight slow, you know, just hear that slight whirring noise. I'm not bothering to switch it off and clear it. I'm going to let it run like that for a bit. Still a fair bit of flow. Such a beautiful morning. I really didn't expect this. It said overcast all day. I was just, you know, hoping that it wouldn't rain, but look at it. Absolutely stunning day. Lucky me. I'm doing just a little bit of gentle paddling. It's not really accelerating, it's just I want to do it. So all the time I don't have to use the paddle as a rudder. I'm just sort of waving my paddle from right to left. Oh, look how beautiful the colours are in front there. That beautiful orange over the river. That's beautiful. When I've done the first circuit and I test the battery, I may actually quickly nip back to my car and put on another layer. I'm not really, you know, freezing cold, but because I'm not paddling, I'm actually just feeling it a bit. Now I'm just using the paddle now on the left hand side only, just to steer. At this speed you can get away with that. That's the other nice thing about the first speed, is that you can paddle to steer, whereas once you go into sport yeah, you know, no way. You've got to use the paddle as a rudder, and it can be quite aggressive. But then again, the fin is designed for more open water, really. It's designed for lakes, not for windy rivers. Now, if we went to the right here, we'd be back on the circuit. Well, we'd be on the circuit. But what we're going to do, we're going to fork left and take the straight run up towards live flood barrier. I think we'll take the left arch. Possibility of quite a few anglers up here. I've only seen one, just spoken to one chap who's setting up on the bank about a few hundred yards back, but there probably will be quite a few on this section, but it's no worries as long as I stay to the right. They're all on the left hand side. There's a lot of leaves in the water here, so this will be a bit of a test for it. But obviously they're actually on the surface, so I'm hoping that it doesn't suck them in. Obviously the motor's around about 7 or 8 inches down the propeller. That's it. Now we have a run up to the flood barrier, and it should actually, there should be quite a bit of a flow against me from the barrier, literally all the way up now. Noisy train. Another beautiful swan on the left hand side there, just entering the water. Hey. Stretching his wings. The colours are absolutely beautiful. Ooh. I'm looking on the left bank, and there's a slight hill, and there's still the sun's glistening off the dew. The grass is still moist with the dew, morning dew. And then ahead you've got this beautiful sight, this oranges and the greens and the browns and yellows. There's just, I absolutely love this time of year. And you think about it, we're now, oh, sorry about that. We're now coming into late November. I think we're the 21st, 22nd today. I think I said it on one of my videos a couple of weeks ago when I went out for a walk that autumn seemed to come late this year. So did summer. But yeah, we're still losing the leaves now. I've got the sun in my face, warming me up a bit on the left hand side. I'm a happy boy. I just had to stop again and clear some leaves out of the propeller. At least I seem to have a knack of doing that. I think leaves are a lot easier than weed, because weed just wraps itself around and literally clogs it up. Whereas I think the leaves basically get chewed up, and then I put it into reverse, go backwards and forwards a bit, and I seem to be able to clear them quite well. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. My, this bridge is now very low. I'm going to have to duck. That's because the water levels, it's low enough normally, but the water levels are so high. Yeah, just got to duck slightly. Oh, loads of leaves falling out the trees, coming down like confetti. Yeah, there was a bit of a gust of wind there. It took loads of leaves down. And this is another section of the river where there's normally lots of anglers, but no one today. Looks like there's part of a tree down there. I'll have to be a bit careful. You can see how the fin handles all these leaves and this debris. Yeah, it's a large branch, so there must have been a tree. I can see where the tree gave way. They've cut it down, left some of the branches in the water. Oh, did you hear that? I think I hit the branch. I went over it though, so on the way back I'll have to paddle over that rather than speed into it. Just shows you a bit of flooding. The trees, the banks give way and the trees give way. They call them widow makers. Trees about to or threatening to fall. Same with camping. If you're going into woodlands, you've got to be very aware of the condition of the area that you're potentially pitching up in, because you could come a cropper. We're now approaching the bridge with what I believe to be a news sign, because I only see it on my last outing, which says basically no craft. It's not just motorized or canoes, kayaks, no craft beyond this point. But last time out everybody was going past it. It's always a slight concern with the live flood barrier, because obviously if that thing opens, man, that's a big barrier. But you'll get a fair old gush coming down here. But although the water levels are high, obviously the river's settled over the last couple of days. That's why I left it a few extra days. There was still loads of flood warnings, and as proven earlier, the people said there was trees down, so still is now. But beautiful day out all the same. I'm really now glad, even though I'm doing a test and not really doing any paddling, I'm really enjoying this. This is just it's a real chill out. End of navigation. End of navigable Medway. Do not proceed beyond this point. Danger weir. colours on these trees to the right here. And there's the weir ahead. We'll go up a little ways before we turn around. And I might try and get some 360 footage on the way back down. I've got to try and avoid that tree that I've banged into on the way back. I can just hear the barrier now. Or hear the weir. Now it's really going. It's going some, that is. So this will be approximately the 2 mile, maybe 2.25 mile point. I'm not going to go right up to this today. It does look absolutely furious. So I'm just going to get beyond these trees and turn round. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but the noise is, oh, it's tremendous, even from here. There's still some distance away from it. Now, hence the flow. Yeah, they've got the middle barrier open. They've got quite a lot of it open now. Whereas generally in the summer, it's not a trickle, but nowhere near that. They're letting a lot of water past. Look at that go. That is going some. The wind's picking up as well. Really windy here. That's some serious water. That's all 3 gates open. I wouldn't say fully, but that is some serious water. Right, I'm shutting the engine down for a moment. I don't want to ride right into the wake of that. So do a bit of paddling. I'm struggling to paddle. It's really pushing me back. Oh, well, I'll turn around here and we'll start to head back down. Well, I haven't even got the motor running and I'm being pushed back. That's probably the fiercest I've seen it, but then I am generally out here in the summer or the spring, not at this time of year. Right, time to get the motor going again. And sit back and relax. I'm just going to paddle for a moment just so that I can get an opportunity to speak with you, because the problem is when I'm got the camera facing and I try recording and the motor's on, I just lose control, so I can't concentrate on what I'm saying. So yeah, so we've done around about 2.25 miles so far. I've got no idea what the battery level is. Obviously there's going to be many variants. Even on this paddle I've had to go into sport every so often, and I've had to go into reverse, and I've had to play around a lot, so I've put considerable resistance on the motor, not just sort of switched it on, ambled along. So, and I coming up I had the flow against me, now I've got the flow going with me, so There's nothing too scientific about this. It's sort of all averages. There's just so many variants. Wind, waves, you know, just loads. So when I do finish this, you've just got to take what you can get out of it. It's just going to give you a guesstimate, if you like, of if you was out on a slow flowing river with very little wind. But at least, you know, it will prove something that it's not, because there's been a lot of speculation as whether it'll last the time it says, and maybe it'll run out after 45 minutes, then it's not worth having. But I think already in previous tests it's actually proved worthy. When I did a slight section of a tidal river or many videos back, and I run it for something like 20-25 minutes against the current, and it was really windy. It was, you know, blowing a hoolie, and I'd done something like 20% of the battery, so I was very impressed with that day. Right, let's turn the camera around, get us started in. I've got to look out for that tree down there. Sun's well and truly behind the cloud now. I don't think I'm going to see no more of that today. I'm actually really glad that I got out early enough to actually have that sunshine, you know, shining through the trees. It was yeah, absolutely beautiful. Going at a nice speed here, nice comfortable speed. There is a slight undercurrent as well, so that's helping me on my way. And what I'm going to do when I get down to the railway bridge where I forked off, I'm going to go back the route I came, because there is a full-blown tree down on the final circular bit. It's not passable. One lady on a paddleboard said to me, "Oh, you can climb over it." Well, yeah, I'll climb over it, but I can't get my kayak over it. I'll climb over it and drag the kayak over it. Oh, picked up some more leaves, so let's leave you running. Reverse. So you can imagine the resistance that's putting on it, with the kayak travelling forward. Right, stop, drive. That's it, cleared it. Now there's that tree that's down, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop, paddle. I don't want to go too slow in case I get caught on it. Right, let's go a little bit further. Now I'm approaching it now. I'm trying to think of the line I took. I couldn't see it, but I weren't really looking underneath for it. Where is it? Oh, I see it. Bump. Ah, got over it. Nice one. Obviously I'll have to check the fin afterwards, but I think it should be okay. It's all locked in. Right, start up again. Giving it a little bit of a test, isn't it? Smashing it onto things underwater. Things are made to be used, and if they get broken, they get broken. I can hear the leaves dragging along underneath the kayak, rubbing against the kayak. Quite thick in places. And there's that lovely overhanging tree. So colourful. My favourite season, autumn. I wish it would last forever. Okay, I'm just about to do my 3 mile or 3.5 mile test.
DC voltage.
Okay. Left, right.
DC 26.26 volt.
26.26 volts at 3.5 miles. Second time on this straight section to lie barrier and back. Still going strong. Here comes the low bridge again. I'm picking up an awful lot of leaves on this second circuit. I'm having to stop regularly and clear the motor out, but still getting away with it, but it's getting me down a bit now. There's such a lot of leaves on this section. Certainly a few more fishermen out now, or anglers, but it is getting a little bit later in the day. So I'm on my second circuit. I'm just coming under the railway bridge. I'm going to fork right, go back down towards Town Lock, and I'm just going to go back to the launch point just for a little while and check the readings again. Picked up a load more leaves again. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put it in the sport mode, see if I can drive them out. Doesn't seem to be doing it, so I'm going to go stop, reverse. Stop and drive. Well, I've got most of it out. It's still slightly noisier than it should be. Well, my battery ran out then, and couldn't work out why, because I've got a power bank attached to it to keep it topped up, but seems like the power bank's failed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to my launch point and have a bite to eat, check the battery out, and see if I can get a bit of charge into it from my power station. Well, I've just done the final test after about 6.5 miles, and we're down to 25 volts, which 25 volts, we're down to 14% battery life. So 6.5 miles from fully charged down to 14%. Well, as you can no doubt see, there's quite a lot of leaves stuck in the propeller. So yes, I was having quite a few problems on the way around, so I'm going to let all that dry out before I start clearing it out. But it's well clogged up, so it was struggling for some of the trip. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get packed up. It's freezing and it's threatening to rain, and I'll have a chat with you when I get back home. Hi there and welcome back. I didn't get back to you when I got home. I've left it till the next day. You probably could hear at the end of that video as I was showing you the fin. I'm full of head cold at the moment and it had really come out. I was cold. It started to rain. I got a little bit wet. I mean, the sun came out again later, but I got wet. So by the time I got home, I was covered in mud, wet, full of head cold. So I thought, well, I'll just get cleaned up and just have a snooze. So I've left it a day and it's given me a chance to actually look over the video footage and actually make some assumptions about the, to make a final sort of summary of the trip out. Now, as I said at some point during the video yesterday, the range of the battery in either of the settings is very dependent on it's dependent on many factors. The weather conditions, waves, weather conditions in general, waves, wind, the weight of the paddler, the full load out of the kayak, the design of the kayak. So it will differ from person to person. So this is just to give you a sort of a rough idea. Now, yesterday's paddle out, it ended up as 6 miles when I checked the GPS. Out of that 6 miles, probably quarter mile or maybe just over would have been still paddling where I was trying to get around trees or when I just sort of needed to stop to speak to you. So you could probably take it as probably 5.5 to 5 3/4 miles rather than 6 miles, but it's still a good distance. The weather factors yesterday were definitely less than ideal. I mean, the water was, there was very little wind to start with. It did actually get considerably windier as the paddle went on, because I was out for literally about 4 hours, and obviously the day started off sunny. It was nice and calm, and then slowly it sort of just got windier. I also had a tide against me, a current against me, going up to the barrier twice, going up to live flood barrier. But when on the return, I had the current pushing me, or so it swings and roundabouts with that part. Another factor to take into consideration was the amount of debris in the water and the amount of leaves. I mean, why I thought I could go out in autumn, yes, the weed's gone, but the amount of leaves on the water, and as you see at the end of the video, even though I kept saying I had gone backwards and forwards and cleared it, I obviously hadn't. There was still leaves in there, so that would have drastically been affecting the performance. Even though I was moving along, there were still leaves in there, which will obviously create a problem with the throw, and it will build up resistance on the battery. So all in all, I actually think the range I got, considering that the overall conditions, was absolutely superb. So what I've done, I've gone out to my vehicle and I've brought the E-fin in. What I'll do, I'll bring you up close on that. And I did pick some of the leaves out, but that's the amount of leaves that I ended up with at the end of the trip. Obviously they're dry now, so I can easily pick them out. That's why I left most of them in there. You also may remember from the video that I did hit several, even off camera, but on camera, I hit some large tree stumps which smashed into the fin and the kayak jumped over. Absolutely not a scratch on it, so that's another point for the E-fin. And as I said, those leaves now, they'll just, I'm not going to do it in my front room, but they'll just pick out. So there you go. Let's just put that down on the floor out the way. So, what do I think of the E-fin? If you go back several videos, I've made quite a few videos on this E-fin now, testing it out and reviewing it. I bought it because of my osteoarthritis, and I've still got the meniscal tear that I'm trying to, it's improving, but I'm trying to obviously heal that up. So I bought it as an aid to help me when out kayaking. However, other than the first few times I took it out before the weed was really bad, I've had very little opportunity to use it on the rivers I've been going out on. They've been literally laden with obstacles, very narrow paths, narrow throughways, shallow, well, just the weed in general and sort of the underwater cabbage. So I've really had no opportunity to use it. Now we've come into autumn, I daren't take it out again with all the leaves down. I've got to wait for that to clear. So again, I'm going to have to try it. I'll be doing another range test, which will be the actual on sport boat, which we'll have to get a wider straight to do. But I'll have to be doing that in the proper winter now, once the leaves have cleared as well. Now, where I'd guarantee this E-fin would come onto its own is in an open expanse of water, lakes, or sort of around the coast. It definitely would be brilliant then, and obviously I'm going to keep it, and I will actually get round to probably next year I'll be getting out on some lakes, and I'll have some great fun with it then, you know, do some paddling and actually then sort of speed around with that as well. Now this video, yes, it's a range test. I went out to test it. I actually don't overly enjoy doing review or test videos. I find them mundane. So what I tend to try and do, as I've done in this video, it was certainly earlier on, it was beautiful. The sun was out, the leaves were falling, the beautiful colours. So I've made this sort of a review with a view, if you like. So, you know, it's quite a lengthy video, but it is a trip out as well as a test, rather than just going out and methodically going through facts and figures and stone-faced. I've tried to actually show you the beauty of autumn. There will be further tests and reviews on this E-fin as time goes on. I tend to review for quite a few years. I have done with the kayaks, you know. I think I had I still have it, my Blue Wave glider. I did reviews for the first 2 years before I sort of thought, well, it's just proved its point. So regarding the reviews on the E-fin or anything, I will keep you all updated via my YouTube channel community page and also my Facebook page. So yeah, if you want to see what's coming up, if you jump on either one of them, then you should be able to find out. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for calling by. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Not sure what my next video will be, but it'll be next week sometime. So for now, that's it. See you on the next video. Bye for now.